person or an animal or?
A good-sized man, or something that looks like a man.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was.
Welcome to Sasquatch Hypotheses.
Jesus Christ, you better...
Sir?
See ya!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
Son of a bitch is about 6'9".
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
He's looking at me.
And the guy is on foot.
I don't know what... It's a big, real big person.
But it is a person.
Yeah, I'd say it was a person, somebody really big. But he's all in black.
Is he a black male or a white male? Did you actually see whether, or was he just wearing black?
He's all black and he's big. He is big.
Good evening, folks. Those of you who tuned in to tonight's supposed to be live show know that my internet company messed with my speed again, so I had to switch over to just recording the show, and I'm going to upload it later. Sorry about that. Oh my God, I can't wait till I move to New Orleans so I don't have to deal with this anymore. These guys, Mediacom, the worst internet provider I've ever had. Anyway, all right, so let's get on with the show tonight. I'm going to do it's going to be a narration by Dee Dee, my soon-to-be wife, about a decapitated Sasquatch and a deported guy from Germany. So let's go ahead and get on with it.
Hi everyone, this is Dee Dee sharing another encounter with you from the internet. It's from Reddit, posted by Matt Kenger, and it goes like this. Hello guys, what I'm about to tell you is absolutely true. My name is Matt. I'm a 21-year-old guy from Germany, and I was taking a working holiday in Canada. This was always a dream for me, to explore and experience this large and beautiful country. It was really a pleasure for me. I arrived here in August and had the best time of my life until this Wednesday, but now it's turning into an absolute nightmare. I always loved driving late at night, especially on relatively remote roads. That's why I chose to take the ON 502 northbound from Fort Francis to Dryden that evening. It was December 19th, 2018, around 11:40 p.m. on a long bended part of the road. Suddenly, a semi with its hazards flashing stood on the right side, nearly in the ditch. I stopped in front of the truck and got out to ask the driver if I could help him. I immediately noticed that the left part of its front was really heavily damaged. The headlight and grille were broken. The hood was pushed backwards and smashed. A bit of the windshield and everything was covered in blood. Only then I realized that there was more blood on the road as well, from what I could see in the dark with the small amount of light that came from my tail lights. His intact right headlight and his marker lights, "Oh God, he hit a bear," was my first thought from the amount of damage I could see. I walked up to the driver's side door and knocked a few times. He didn't answer. First I thought that perhaps he was going to get some help. But then I reflected that we were like in the middle of nowhere and Dryden is like 50 kilometers away, and that he'd more likely use his cell phone or his CB to call for help. I knocked again and no response. Then I opened the door. He was huddled back in the cabin. He was shaking. His skin was pale like a dead person's, and he looked like he had so much fear and shock, as if he'd seen the devil in person. "Can I help you? Looks like you had a really serious accident here. Are you injured?" I asked him. No response from him. "Hello? Are you all right, sir?" "I'm not sure," he stumbled. "Does anything hurt?" "No, but I hit it." "I see that. I don't think that the bear is still alive, to be honest." It wasn't a bear," he responded with so much fear in his voice. I got confused. "Are there elk in this part of Ontario?" "I'm not a native, so that was the first of what I thought." "It's okay. You're in shock. Take a breath," I responded. "Did you call 911? He didn't even react to my answer. I left him alone in his rig and got to my van to get my cell phone. I was glad that I even received service in this part of the province. I told the operator what happened, and she assured me that she was sending an officer and an ambulance to the scene. She asked me for which operator the truck was driving. I couldn't give her an answer, but she said that there would be roadside assistance coming as well. I then hung up and went to the semi-driver to tell him that I called for help. The only thing he did was nod. I got my flashlight out of the car and searched for the dead animal. I was still convinced that he had hit a bear because I was very curious what he really hit and determined to tell him that it was a bear. The blood was spread all over the road, and I could see where the bear was flinched to. Then I saw its body. Holy shit! That is indeed a really large bear, I thought to myself. The creature was approximately 2.8 meters, 9.2 feet tall. It had really long limbs, the head was partially decapitated, and its face wasn't like anything I'd ever seen before. It was like I was looking at a gorilla human type face. It was so unreal. The teeth looked like what you'd see on the great white shark. Its eyes were partly closed, but it was like you could see the pupils glow underneath. They weren't really glowing, but it's the best way I can describe it. It was so ape-human hybrid-like. Do you know when you really feel uncomfortable all of a sudden? That's what I was feeling then. I didn't believe in Bigfoot before, but I watched something about it a few years ago on Monster Quest. I couldn't believe what I saw, but I knew exactly what I was looking at. I never thought that I'd experience something like this in my entire life. This can't be real. Where's the hidden camera? F you all, I said, so loud, to hope there would be a TV crew coming out of the woods to admit their hoax. But there was no TV crew there. I was alone with the truck driver and this thing. I went back to my car and I vomited into the road and sat in the driver's seat. I think it must have been 30 to 40 minutes. Everything was like in a trance. And then in the distance, I saw the head and emergency lights flickering. It was a police officer or an OPP patrolman. I can't recall it anymore. He asked me what happened, and I told him exactly what I'm telling you. At first, he was very suspicious about my story. But I knew that he knew I was speaking the truth. He went back to his patrol car and radioed something in, then went to the trucker. In the distance, I saw more headlights, and the whole crew from the fire department and another police car showed up. The police officer was directing the men of the fire department to the rig like he wanted them to only take care of the broken semi and its driver. He then talked to the other police officer, and I could see that he went pale immediately the second the first officer ended his sentence. I was absolutely sure about the fact that both knew that these creatures exist and that they have like a schedule of what to do and not to do in cases like this, because none of them went to the place where I told the first officer where the body of the creature was located. The second officer came up to me and told me that I had to follow him to the police department for a full report. So I drove behind him to Dryden. At the time we drove up to the city, maybe after 40 kilometers, a convoy of dark vehicles passed us at high speed to the scene we were coming from. The junction on ON 502 and ON 594 was blocked, and no car was allowed to drive on the ON 502 southbound. Arriving at the police station, the officer took me to the interrogation room and offered me something to drink. I had to wait until someone arrived to interview me, and I had to give away my phone and my personal belongings. First, I refused because I didn't understand why, but his voice got very specific, and I handed over my things. After what felt like an eternity, a man in a suit came into the room. He looked really odd, a bit like an ill person, because of his grayish skin, bald head, and sort of shrunken-in cheeks. He had a thick Quebecois accent and spoke gently and calm, without any expression at all. I had to recall all details of what I experienced, give all of my personal information, my purpose of my journey in Canada, and he took fingerprints of me and even a sample of my saliva. I felt like a criminal, so ashamed and uncomfortable, like I'd done something horrible. Then I had to sign a document like a non-disclosure agreement, but there weren't any coat of arms, banners, or stamps on it. After that, he looked dead in my eyes and asked if I had seen what I had seen. I said yes. His tone got really stern, and he asked me again, and I knew that I had to decline his question. After that, he explained to me that they will know everything I do. It's crazy that they're so open about it. Then he left the room. Shortly after that, a female officer came in and gave me back my personal things and explained to me that when they checked my immigration information, the system informed them that I have to leave Canada by January 5th, 2019, and that there was a note, or better, a command, that I must take a direct flight to Germany. My current ETA got declined, and I can't apply for any future ETA and even ESTA as well. I can't believe it. Only because I've seen this thing, I can't travel to North America for the rest of my life. I am now on a blacklist, like a terrorist. When I turned on my phone, it sent me to the first instruction screen, like when I first took it out of the box. The same with my laptop. So these people erased everything off my electronic devices to be sure that there isn't any information going public. All of my pictures are gone. They even placed all the things in my van upside down, like they were searching for evidence. I'm really sure I am being taped right now, and I'm lucky I could write my story about this until now, to be honest. I am currently here at this disgusting A&W here in Marathon, and will drive back to Toronto now. I really don't know what to do from now on. I have to sell this van, cancel my insurances here, and get on a flight back home in only 6 days, and New Year's Eve is between all this. Please wish me all your luck. The truth must be spoken. I won't be intimidated by anyone, but I also won't risk my own life. Well, that's the encounter. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have an encounter that you'd like me to read, pull that trigger back and shoot me an email. My email address is mydd123@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening.
Okay, another story well done by my fiancée Dee Dee of Dee Dee's Mysterious Journals. So just a second, guys, I need to turn your volume up, I think. Yeah.
You.
Okay. So we can't really speak much to the legalities of what happened to this guy since this took place in Canada. If this happens to you in the United States, they tell you to hand over your stuff. You say no. They can only do it if you let them. Unless you do something wrong, they cannot do anything to you. I don't know what goes on in Canada, different country. I don't know what their laws are like. But down here, that guy, all he had to do is say no. You have no legal right to my property. At that point, they would have had to force him, and that would have opened a whole can of worms where he could have gone after the government and that kind of thing. So, this, I forget how the dating on what happened with this guy. Evidently, there was a, what is it, Dee Dee? You want to explain? There was a road closing or something at the same time?
Right, someone looked into it and found a tweet on Twitter where that exact same day, or that night, because this happened at 11:30 at night, that road was closed, and somebody had gone to go check a story and found it on Twitter. It's called, they call it 511. It's like Canada 511, and it's the actual closure. They announced the closure, and then they announce again when they opened it again. So I believe the guy. I think this is a real story. This is a real encounter.
There was also some other things that Dee Dee was able to research to find that points to this being an actual, honest-to-God, true story and that kind of thing. I forget what all you came up with, Dee Dee. But
Right. Well, he actually was asked lots of different questions. You know, why so much description on the lights, and he just wanted to give the best description he could. First off, you have to figure this. He's from Germany. He's here on a working holiday. So he came in August. He had been in Canada in August. So, he was working there and enjoying himself. He had a van. I'm sure he made some friends and stuff like that. Somebody said, well, why don't you take pictures? Why are there no photos if you had your phone? And he did. He had his phone. I want to say he might have had a flashlight, but I'm not sure. And a laptop with him. Well, even if he did, because it freaked him out so bad, even if he did, they took and erased everything off of his phone and his laptop. When he went to go open his phone, it was just like the day he got it out the box, all reset. Everything, all his pictures, all his information, gone. Same thing with his laptop. He opens up his laptop, same thing. So they erased everything. So even if he took pictures, he would never have been able to show anybody.
so what do you think, guys? Lane's muted. What about you, Matt?
Where's your damn warrant? That's what I want to know. But
Yeah.
Canada, like you said, in Canada, who knows?
Yeah, if that happened in the United States, that's part of the whole reason they get away with this cover up stuff is because they say, "Let me have your laptop and cell phone," and people give it to them. If you do that, it's just like when you get stopped on the side of the road and the cop says, "I'm going to go through your vehicle," and you don't say no. He can do whatever he wants to, you know.
But in the interrogation room, he did say no. At first, he said no, but then they took a more threatening approach to him, got stern with him,
Yeah,
and
but
took fingerprints and a saliva sample, and really, then told him, they're going to watch whatever you do,
yeah, but
whatever you do, wherever you go.
in the United States, they can get stern with you dozens of times as long as you keep saying no. There's nothing they can do. You know, that's
Well,
just
that's easy
a
for an
ploy that they
American
would
to say.
use.
I agree. That's an American. We know that as Americans.
Right.
But someone who was only here for what, 4 months, and from another country wouldn't know that right off.
Well, I was friends with MPs and stuff, and they would say they would intentionally do that. They would try to intimidate you to say yes, because once you say yes, it doesn't matter what they do. I mean, they can lie to you to get you to say something. No matter what they say to you, once you say yes, you gave up your right. So that's their objective, is to get you to say yes. So they will do anything and everything, but as long as you keep saying no, there's nothing they can do. They're handcuffed. They can't do anything. What about you, Ralph?
Well, in Canada, they do have a set of laws that governs their rights. They don't have a constitution which guarantees their right like we do here, but they do have laws up there about their rights. And that guy could have told him, if he'd have kept telling them no, there was nothing legally they could have done it.
Exactly. Unless they really were going to get to Gestapo kind of tactics, then of course, your safety's at risk at that point. But I'm saying if they're just doing what a lot of cops do anyway in murder investigations and everything else and keep threatening you until you say yes, just keep saying no. There's nothing they can do.
Right. Here, if they try that stuff here, you can look at them and go, no, I don't see a search warrant. I don't see an arrest warrant. Sorry about your luck. You're not violating my Fourth and Fifth.
Exactly. Hey, Amy, how you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
Okay. Did you catch any of the story?
No, because I wasn't planning on it till 6 o'clock. So I was driving into my daughter's birthday.
Oh, yeah, I did it early so I can get out there and drive the drunks home, because I have to make up for all the days I couldn't work because of this pinched nerve in my neck, which is acting up again, but it's not as bad as it was.
Oh man, was it about the kids, the short one?
No, it was about a guy. He comes across a truck on the side of the road that had hit a Sasquatch and partially decapitated it. And then he was taken by the police. They took all of his belongings, cleared out his cell phone and his laptop, told him to get out of the country and never come back.
And Rick, I just got a message from Matt Kanger just now.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to read it to y'all.
What timing? Go ahead, we can't hear you.
Okay. Hold just a second. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can now.
Okay. He says, he's already given me permission to read the story online. He added just now, I'm really happy that there are people out there who do this for our handicapped friends. He's talking about some of my audience. Unfortunately, I am not able to find your YouTube channel. I'm going to have to send him a link. And he wants me to send this reading to him. He also says thank you and have a nice day and weekend. So he's, sounds like he's still sort of positive, and he was okay with me sharing it. He was scared, from what I understand, to even post on Reddit like he did.
Yeah, well, as soon as we get off here, I'm not going to stay on much longer. I'm going to go ahead and upload this, and then you can send him the link to this show.
And just to let everybody know, we're going to invite him for Rick too.
interview
him
Yeah.
personally, you know.
Yeah, it'd be
Well,
nice to get him.
you make sure to tell him thank you from the panel for coming forward with a story and showing courage like that.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll include that in my answer to him.
Well, if he watches the show, he'll hear it from you, Matt, because we're still recording.
Oh, okay.
Okay, does anyone else have anything more to... Sorry to start the show early on you, Amy, but I wanted to try and get out there. And then, of course, my internet provider messed with... I had 90% lost frames. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I just switched over to recording the show, and then I'm going to upload it after we get off here.
Okay, I'll look at it. Dee Dee sent me a message, but I was just getting here and had to get in the house, so I'll hear it when you...
Right. Folks, if you want to join us in Discord, right here, right there, there's the link. You go to that link, download the app if you have the computer, because it works better than the web version. Evidently, there's some kind of a issue with the microphone or something. Yeah, download the app and then go to this link right here, and you can join us in Discord to talk 24/7 any time of the day or night. The people hop in and out of here all day long. And does anyone else have anything further? Any announcements? Anything?
I just have one thing to say, Rick. I mean, this just goes to show that that government doesn't want this brought out. Period. They don't want it. They will do whatever they have to keep it.
Right. Yeah. And I'm actually surprised that so many other governments are participating in this. You know, I'm going to have to do a show where I discuss my thoughts on that. I understand why the U.S. is doing it, and unless there is equal liability in other countries, which there isn't, because, you know, over in the Soviet Union, well, the former Soviet Union, you know, they don't play that game. They do whatever they want. But in Canada, the U.S., I can see it. China, no. You know, Mexico, no. You know, things like that. So we should really, Dee Dee, we should look and see if this cover-up is worldwide, or if some countries don't have a problem admitting it, and some countries, you know, don't bother covering it up and that kind of thing, and do a show specifically on that. That would be interesting.
Yes, it does.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and end this so I can get this show up for everybody. So, until next time, y'all take it easy.